So I've got my $20 from last week, and here's my $20 for this week. So this is what I'm going to use when I need to go to the grocery store for groceries, not for household items or things like that. Okay, welcome back everyone to Harvest Moon Farm. My name is Mickey. Today is the first day of week 2 of my $20 a week grocery budget. If you missed the first video, I will go ahead and link it in at the end of this video. So this is really like an extended kind of pantry challenge that I've put on myself. We have so much food in our freezers and in our cabinets, and the things that I have in my pantry that I've home canned, that it is really silly for us to be spending money at the grocery store for very many things. So I've set that $20 limit. If I don't spend it in a week, it stays in my envelope, and then I use cash when I buy things so that I've got that money. Tonight I'm roasting a couple of whole chickens that were the chickens we raised last year. I'm just going to use some of this garlic herb compound butter. I think I'm going to use a little bit of poultry seasoning. I'm going to get this melted, and then we'll start getting our chickens ready to go into the oven. I do have, it just stopped. I have my oven preheated to 400. I'm going to use this Gardenware baking pan, and we'll see how it turns out. So I'm going to start with melting my butter. And these are fully thawed. And these must be from the first year. Our chickens were fairly small. We didn't really know what we were doing, but the meat is amazing. So the fact that they're small doesn't really matter all that much. All right, so I'm gonna lay these breast side up. So this smells really good. I will try and find either the link to the video where I made these, or at least the link to this compound butter flavor. So I'm just going to add a little bit of poultry seasoning in here. I'm going to stir that all up, and I'm going to brush it onto our chickens. Just going to try and get it, bowl's a little hot, brushed on all over the top of this chicken. We're going to add a little salt to the top of this. And I'm going to put some salt inside the chicken as well. There we go. I'm going to start with the lid on, and I'm going to cook this about 30 to 40 minutes, and then we'll take the lid off and let it finish cooking so that this skin can get nice and crispy and brown. If necessary, the last 2 or 3 minutes, we'll go ahead and put it under the broiler. So this is going into the oven. And to go with this, we are going to have some asparagus that I'm going to go ahead in a little while. I'm going to wash it up, get it cut and oiled and seasoned, and we'll put it on a tray the last maybe 15 minutes or so with the chicken. And I'm not sure what else. I've got some carrots in there. I'll have to just dig around and see what I think sounds good to go with this. So once this chicken has cooked about halfway, I'll go ahead and get this asparagus ready, and we'll get it in the oven with the chicken. All right, so I remembered after I put the chicken in the oven that the recipe that I kind of looked at for inspiration says this will cook about an hour and a half. So I bumped that time up to an hour, and now it's going off, and so I am going to go ahead and take the lid off of it. So now I went ahead and set that for another 30 minutes with the lid off. I'm going to go ahead and get my asparagus ready. I'm just going to cut off the ends. Whoops, running away from me. And then I'm going to cut these just like I've done in the past in kind of 2-inch-ish pieces. These definitely needed to get eaten. Got a couple pieces that are a little slimy on the edge, or on the end. I've got some garlic infused olive oil here. I'm going to put a little bit on it. Add a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to put some parchment paper on this baking sheet. I'm going to go ahead and, whoa, oh, asparagus down. Too bad. Stir this all around. And then I'm just going to spread this out on this baking sheet. And it's going to go in the paper slide, and it's going to go in the oven with the chicken. I also saw we have a few beans left. I'm going to go ahead and warm those up. And then Joe likes to eat his food when it's like that. Sometimes he likes to eat it with tortillas. We've got some tortillas, so I think that'll be enough to fill us both up. So I'm going to let the chicken cook and the asparagus for about 25 minutes or so, and then I'll check the chicken, make sure that it's done, and we'll give everything a taste. Yummy. I cannot find my thermometer, but I'm pretty sure this is done because the legs are falling off. All right, so I am going to cut one of these pieces of chicken. It's done. Maybe it's not done. Oh yes, it is. Okay. I was worried there for a second. I didn't know how it could possibly take that long to cook. All right, so I'm cutting me a piece of this. I'm cutting some, well, if I could get a hold of it, the breast meat off of one of these, part of the breast meat off of one of these pieces of chicken. I want to make sure I get a nice piece of skin so we can taste that. Yummy. Okay, so this chicken is nice and tender. These chickens that we've grown ourselves, we've raised ourselves, are so good. So my husband just got home. He is taking this trash barrel to the end of the driveway and then check the mail, and then he'll be back in. He'll probably want to shower before he eats, but this is not going to get cold anytime soon, so it'll be fine when he's ready to eat. So I've got some chicken and the asparagus and the beans, and so that is going to do it for today's meal. Dinner tonight, we're going to grill some pork chops. I've got some broccoli. I've got some vinegar-based coleslaw that I canned a year ago, and I'm going to try and turn this into I'm going to drain the vinegar base off of this, and we're going to make a regular coleslaw mix to mix this up, and we'll see how it tastes. I'm not sure. We'll see. If it's not any good, we will pick another veggie to go with our dinner. But I'm going to start with our pork chops. Alright, so these are pork chops that came from the half of a hog that we bought. I am going to cut a little bit more of this fat off the edges. And we'll give that to Bear. He'll enjoy that. This one in particular has a lot of fat on this one edge. I'm going to cut this in pieces, or else he'll snarf it all up in one little bite and choke himself to death. And we're going to put some of this brown sugar bourbon. It's McCormick Grill Mates. I'm going to put some of that on both sides of our pork chops. So I'm just going to set those pork chops to the side. I'm going to go out and get the grill started, and then I'll go ahead and start putting together the dressing for the coleslaw. Alright, we've got the grill on, heating up. I'll go ahead and open this coleslaw. Let me just... it smells good. Okay, for our coleslaw dressing, we're going to use about a half a cup of mayo. And I'm just going to eyeball it. Need lemon juice and vinegar. Lemon juice, there we go. So for our lemon juice, we need 1.5 tablespoons. One tablespoon of white vinegar. We need a half a teaspoon of black pepper and about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then last, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of white sugar. And we're just going to whisk all of this together. See how this tastes. Then I'm going to go ahead and dump my canned coleslaw mix in there. Oh, except I think I need 2 jars because that's really runny. Of course, this coleslaw is not going to be crunchy like a fresh slaw, and it's not got that super bright green flavor that a fresh slaw would have, but it still looks good, it smells good. That dressing was amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this in the fridge. Then I'm going to get our broccoli ready and we'll go get things out on the grill. So I've just got some foil here. I'm going to put our broccoli on the foil. We're going to do just a little bit of salt and pepper. Then we're going to do a little of our garlic olive oil over the top. And we're just going to roll this up like this, and we're going to put this on the grill with the pork chops. I'm gonna go ahead and put the broccoli on, and I'm gonna put our pork chops on. We're gonna let those cook until the pork chops are done, and then the broccoli should be done as well. All right, let's see if these are ready to turn over. I wonder if this is, I don't think we have a flame anymore. All right, I'll get my husband out here to change the tank out, and then we'll get it going again. Okay, so the propane was not out. It wasn't turned on all the way, so it wasn't full force. So I very nearly burned our pork chops. One side's a little burned, but I think we can still eat them. I was worried that the broccoli would have gotten burned, but the broccoli looks perfect. And then we have our kind of mushy coleslaw, which is fine. Okay, so I'm gonna get me some of this coleslaw. I'm gonna give Joe some of this coleslaw. I don't know if he wants it or not, but he's getting some. Then I'm gonna get me some broccoli. Oh wait, is that even hot? Oh yeah, it's hot. Woo! Let me cut a bite of my burned up pork chop here. I
think it's okay.
Oh yeah, it's all right. I was worried for a minute when I went out there and saw smoke rolling out of my grill that I burned it like completely to a crisp. Pretty good actually. All right, welcome back. Today is the last day of week 2 of the $20 challenge that I've given myself. I did spend $2 this week. Was at the store for something else, and they had corn on the cob for 50 cents a piece, so I went ahead and got 4 of those, and that was just $2 and I think 10 cents was the total. Oh, I have the receipt right here. $2.10. So I also have some zucchini here that need to get used. So what I'm going to do is cut the stem end off, and then I'm going to cut them in half long ways. And then a melon baller works really good at this. For this, I don't know where my melon ballers are, so I'm just going to use a spoon. And what you want to do is just scoop out, oops, try not to tear the skin, scoop out the flesh, and we're going to put it in this bowl. I'm just going to put a light spritz of nonstick spray on the bottom, and then we're going to put these bottoms, or the peel piece of these, in here. So we're making zucchini boats. And I did actually wash these before I started filming, so since we are going to be eating the peel side, I didn't want to leave them unwashed. But we just want to do this, oops, to all 6 pieces. A melon baller really does work the best because you're less likely to tear up your boat that way. Uh-oh, I don't think I'm going to get all 6 of these in this dish. we're having chicken tonight, and I was going to grill, but we've got a storm blowing in, and I'm not sure how long it's going to be before it starts pouring down rain. So I'm just going to bake them in the oven. Okay, I can get 4 of these in here. Let me see. I'll put the other 2 in this little dish here. These are the smaller of the pieces, so I think that'll work fine. So I'm going to dump this zucchini that we cut out of our little boats. I'm just going to chop it up pretty finely. So I'm going to take this chopped up zucchini now, I'm going to put it back in my bowl. So now to our chopped up zucchini, we're going to add some salt and pepper. We're going to go ahead and add some onion powder. And some garlic powder. We're going to add some Parmesan cheese. You can add shredded or grated. I'm using grated just because that's what I have. And we're going to stir this all up. I'm going to add just a little drizzle of olive oil. So now we're going to take our mixture and we're going to spoon it back into our zucchini boats. I'm going to give these another drizzle of olive oil over the top. And then we're going to sprinkle a little bit more cheese on top as well. All right, and so now these are ready to go into the oven, but I'm going to put them in when I put the chicken in. So I've got 2 chicken breasts here that I pounded out flat, or flat-ish. Okay, so I've got a baking sheet for the chicken, and I am going to use this Kinders. It's a black cherry chipotle rub. It's really good. I can't ever remember if it's got salt already in it. It does, okay. So I don't want to also salt this, but I am going to put this on both sides of our chicken pieces. Okay, so the chicken and the zucchini boats are going in the oven, and then we'll start prepping the corn and get it in a pot of water. so I'm just going to go ahead and shuck this corn. Actually, we'll go ahead and put the husks in a bowl, and we can take that out to the chickens. I think chickens can have it. I'll double check before I get to them. All right, so I read somewhere at some point that adding milk to your corn helps make it sweeter. I don't know if that actually works, but we're gonna add a little bit in here and find out. I'm gonna add some salt and some butter, and we'll get some water in this and get it on the stove and cooking. Just use that whole thing. If you guys have ever heard that about milk, let me know, or if you've never heard it and you think it sounds crazy, let me know. I'm curious to see, or whatever ideas that you guys have, whatever you do to make your corn taste really good when you're just boiling it, let me know down in the comments. I'm really curious. All right, so this pot of corn is gonna go on the stove, and then we're just gonna let everything cook. I am gonna look and see if chickens can have corn husks. Let's see. Okay, so it says yes, they can have them. They don't really have a lot of nutritional value, which makes sense, but they can use it kind of as a snack and something to crunch on. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these out, toss them to the chickens. We'll let everything cook, and I'll be back when we're ready to eat. All right, here is our dinner. Let's give one of these little boats a taste. I haven't made these for a long time. See if they need a little more salt and pepper. Go. Maybe a little. Just a little smidgen of both. Let's try that again. There we go. Check our piece of chicken. Very good. Okay, so that's going to do it for this week's video. I had, I don't know, 3 meals I think in this. I didn't show you the days where we had leftovers, or just had sandwiches or whatever. So I'll be starting up week 3 tomorrow. I'll go ahead and add my next $20 to the envelope. We will continue on with this $20 a week budget that I've given myself to add to the things that we already have on hand. And my husband, I think he's on his way home now. I couldn't really tell where he was. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so they worked a little bit later than normal. But I'm going to go ahead and eat my dinner. I want to thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you on the next one.